Hey boy, it's your pop. You're hard at work, doing business things, doing continuing education, studying, getting ready for your third year of college. Just got back from the gym with you. You were over there crushing it, cross training, cross fitting, while your old man was on the treadmill, lamenting about every single creak and crack and pain that he's feeling. Don't let him fool you. He'll be back. I'll be working out just as hard as you in 2 weeks tops. Book it. But while I was on the treadmill, we got 4 or 5 TVs in front of us. Everybody's on a split screen. Everybody's got an opinion. And everybody's an expert. And everybody is criticizing the man in the arena. And it just got me to thinking, so I'm gonna kind of go stream of consciousness here, but it got me thinking about how we are celebrating mediocrity now. We are in full-throated celebration of mediocrity. And I mean, it clouds judgment to the point where erstwhile seasoned veterans of their profession are just lulled into believing that every single human being that gets a little bit of airplay is the next big thing. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make a prediction and see if this comes true. Speaking of celebrating mediocrity. And I'm not saying he's mediocre, but I have a problem with baseball in general. Not only is it interminably long now and almost impossible to watch, and every time there's a moment where you just would love to just watch the game unfold. They got to fill you with stats. They got to fill you with, this is brought to you by, or hey, stand up to cancer. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone and watch the game. I just want to watch the game. And I would love to go watch a game, but it's $300 for a family of 4 to go see a baseball game in Tampa Bay. So, I'm going to make a prediction right now. Juan Soto, formerly of the Washington Nationals, now with the San Diego Padres, and who knows where he'll be next year. I believe that Juan Soto is going to be the next Yasiel Puig. I'm not buying the hype. Hit better than 250. Just not buying it. I grew up in a different era watching baseball. I grew up in an era where I remember I was first getting into baseball, and I found out that Lou Brock sat out the last game of the season as a leadoff hitter for the St. Louis Cardinals because he had 99 strikeouts. He didn't want 100 strikeouts. We got guys with 125 strikeouts by the All-Star break. There's zero plate discipline. It's abhorrent. But, they're not a sport anymore. They're a cause. But anyway, as far as celebrating mediocrity, here's my first point about sports. Son, back in the day, you didn't celebrate every single move you made on the playing field with some sort of choreographed group high five. These guys look so stupid. And you know what? Let's be equal. The ladies look stupid too. You look ridiculous. If you score a goal, act like you've scored one before. If you hit a home run, act like you've hit a home run before. If you get a single, do not flash pseudo gang signs to everyone in the dugout and in the bullpen. Just stop. Just hand over your 9 pieces of gear. You go up there like you're Megatron. It's ridiculous. You're like a transformer after you get a base hit. You got to disassemble yourself. And then put on your gloves so you can slide. Good Lord. Just act like you're playing a sport. Act like you're a professional. Act like you've done this before. You don't need to bring all the attention to yourself. But again, that's part and parcel to, upbringing. And let's not get into that, because I'm certain that pointing out that, lack of a cohesive family structure is an anathema to anyone who's doing the algorithms on YouTube. Hi, Susan. So we are lauded for being mundane. I mean, we're just getting absolutely lavished with attention for being what not too long ago was just middle of the pack and also ran routine. I mean, not to go back to baseball, but back in the day, if you struck out 100 plus times, you may have a job, you may not. You hit 230, they're sending you down. Learn some plate discipline. And that, that goes part and parcel to, did I use that phrase? You know what I'm saying. Son, it bleeds into all professions. Back in the day, there used to be such a thing in the music industry as a one-hit wonder. You could classify just about every single artist now as a one-hit wonder. Back in the day, you put out an album, just threw an extra consonant in there. You put out an album when you had an album's worth of music. Not a hit and, nine tracks of filler. Not anymore. Now they don't even wait for the album. Straight to iTunes or whatever streaming platform, and just let's see how many downloads we get off of this one. And if you really are out there holding on to the idea that rap and hip hop with these abhorrent lyrics and just planting seeds of absolute destruction in youth, if you think that's music, well, you can't have crap without rap. I'll leave it at that. People now are famous for being famous. The Kardashians are worth billions with a B. On the heels of a sex tape with a D-list rapper that may or may not have been filmed by her mother. I mean, nothing is off limits. Nothing is off limits. I mean, there is a wake of destruction in that family's path, and they are celebrated. I mean, they're famous for being famous. They have no discernible, they bring nothing to the table. Intellectually, I mean, aesthetically, I mean, they are store-bought top to bottom. So, congratulations. You took the proceeds from the sex tape and you just put some scaffolding around you, and 6 months later you were a completely different human. Could not imagine what an MRI looks like on any one of those girls. Just foreign objects everywhere. Talking about careers that are spanning 2, 3, 5 years. There's no body of work. I mean, you get lucky with, 1 or 2 vehicles, and then you're just a superstar? Makes no sense. Makes zero sense. There's no applying to the craft. There's no sense of getting better at anything. You just attain a certain status of notoriety, and there is no more. There's no more glaring example of this than, and this will probably get me banned, but this is for my boy. No commentary. Nobody can comment. This is just one man's opinion, sharing it with his son. Son, Colin Kaepernick is and always will be a cautionary tale. Taking a knee. No, he wasn't taking a knee to protest anything. He was taking a knee because he saw the writing on the wall. He was throwing pick sixes like you and I were eating cupcakes. He was about to get cut and decided to make waves and act as though, the white man was keeping him down, when in reality a white family raised him. And he didn't have the chops. He spent more time showing off his swag on Instagram than he did watching game film. And in the NFL, the DBs will find you out. They will find you out. They will pick you clean. And they did. So he did the blame game. Congratulations. You blew up a career because you didn't feel like working. Yeah, it's actual work. This isn't Star Search. I remember a show, you will not remember it, and do not subject yourself to ever watching it, because it signaled the beginning of the end. It was either The Real World or Jackass, which signaled, in my opinion, the implosion, the tipping point of where we just had no shame as a society. The motto behind this show, The Real World, was when people stop being polite and start getting real. Which begs the question, what's wrong with being polite? Nobody's polite anymore. I mean, no one is polite anymore. It is absurd. There are entire video channels on all platforms dedicated to just people filming other people melting down over the most inconsequential stuff. Having to state their case to someone they've never met, nor will they ever see again, just because they're losing their minds. When in reality, if you kept walking, it would be complete. It would be tears and rain. It would be done. You wouldn't think about it again. But no, people got to just go unhinged. And other people think it's noteworthy. It's video-worthy. Jackass was another one. Jackass was for the purpose of having someone kill themselves on television. That's what they wanted. That's what Viacom, that's what MTV wanted. They wanted someone to die. They're still doing the movies. They still want someone to die. That's the ultimate ratings, bait. Influencer. How about that word? You're an influencer. You got 2,000 people following you. Maybe you bought 1,800 of them. And now all of a sudden you're asking for free stuff, for shout outs. It's the most absurd thing I've ever heard in my life. What have you done? What have you done to influence anyone? Have you even straightened up your room in a month? People that are incapable, just incapable, and acting as though they're living the high life. Taking fake pictures of themselves sitting on sound stages that look like private aircraft. Get a grip. When does the alarm bell go off in your head and you say to yourself, I may be a little touched. I may be half loopy. I may be just a shade on the daffy. I don't think all of my biscuits are done. Jonas Salk. There's a body of work. Discovered the polio vaccine, and who did he test it on? His family. And how did he patent it? Oh, I'm sorry, he didn't. He just gave it away. Here we are taking jabs. We look like pin cushions. Taking jabs from every big pharma out there. For what? So we can still catch the Wuhan flu? This is insane. This is insane. Like, nobody has any perspective anymore. Your mom heard someone speaking during the 2016 election about Ben Carson, who was at the time running and ended up in Trump's cabinet. Now, Ben Carson may not have been the most stellar politician, But Ben Carson is the foremost neurosurgeon on the planet. As in Siamese twins, joined at the head, 32-hour operation, staff of 36. Those two Siamese twins are still going strong today. Separated at the cranium. He had to rewire their brains. 16,000 operations. He was doing 500 operations a year for 2 decades. A woman in my wife's office was talking about the debates and called this man, this kind, gentle, brilliant man, he's just so stupid. If he's stupid, where do I fall on the spectrum? I mean, am I even with or just slightly above a simian? If that guy's stupid, we got to reroute this entire graph. Woodward and Bernstein, how about those two? Dining out on that nonsensical, third-rate stupidity like they were the orb of truth for 40 years. They took down a sitting Republican president who won 49 states a year and a half prior. Nobody even talks about that. Nixon won in a landslide, and they just flogged this story to death. And if you watch these guys now, it is... They literally haven't done anything since. These guys have not done anything since 1974. Literally nothing. Nothing of note. And they are on every talk show like they are sages. I will bet you dollars to donuts that 99 times out of 100, Carl Bernstein is off his noggin soused. Drunker than a bag full of hammers. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. He stumbles over his words, he slurs his speech, and he starts every sentence like, this is going to be the gem, this is going to be the nugget, this is going to be what puts everybody else's opinion to shame. And it usually ends up with him trailing off about something about, Deep Throat, Watergate, I don't know, don't you know who I am, past the shivers. We are round the bend right now with idolatry of all the wrong people. And son, you need to recognize it early on. You need to recognize it early on when you see someone that just doesn't walk the walk. Give them a wide berth. Because they're up to no good. They're a charlatan. They are a huckster. I mean, I cannot believe how many of these retreads they keep running out there, expecting us to look at them like they are, they're the bellwether. They're the gatekeepers of truth. When in reality, their entire existence is pretty much fabricated. And I could go into a litany of other notable figures that have no bearing on the truth, not even tangentially. But I'm hoping that you've made it and you're still cognizant through the end of this video. I love you, boy, and I worry about you. And I worry about you because of the people that are out there taking advantage of people who maybe haven't had this pointed out to them. So be wary. Be wary. Watch your six. Love you.